Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Podcast. We got AJ, we got Rudo. We're coming to you live from Avalanche training camp. It's the end of day 3. Technically the end of training camp.
This is one of those weird annoyances about hockey specifically. So, like, football training camp is all of August. Right? It's all of their preseason. It's considered training camp. In hockey, training camp is 3 days, and then the preseason is just whatever, even though on Tuesday when they come back to practice, it will be the exact same thing as the last 3 days.
Same guys, same drills, same stuff, but it's practice, not training camp anymore.
Yeah. We can no longer continue to demand DNVR resources under the guise of it's training camp.
Yep.
We need this stuff. Now it's just it's practice, AJ. We don't care.
We talked to Parker Kelly today. It's a great interview. Stick around for that. It's really, really good. You guys are going to want to hear that.
I relate, sorry.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't picked a favorite Av yet, we just picked it for you.
Yeah, Parker Kelly might be the correct answer.
Wow.
Is that water bottle full enough, you think?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever opened a water bottle and had done that before.
Group 1 and 2 were on the ice again today. Quick note, Brent Burns did not skate today. Bednar said he tweaked something, but it doesn't sound particularly serious. However, he will not play tomorrow either.
I wrote in my training camp preview, one of my training camp storylines was Brent Burns and the Iron Man streak. I believe it's 925 consecutive games. Has not missed a game since the fall of 2013, which he missed 13 games due to sore gums.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just accept that at face value.
Okay. 3 days in, the third day of Avalanche training camp, he's tweaked something and he is now temporarily on the shelf. Not gonna make anything of it until he misses more practices or he misses another preseason game or whatever. But again, what in the world?
Bednar didn't get into specifics, but he sounded pretty casual about it. It didn't seem like it was anything serious anyway.
Yeah.
But, that's a note. If you're looking for the first casualty, if you're a nervous Nelly about Avalanche injuries, I guess technically Linus Funk was the first one, but
yeah, it was Linus Funk and then Max Curran.
Yep. And now Brent Burns.
And then I guess if we really want to. Yeah, I mean,
that's carryover, yeah.
Taylor McCarr, Mackenzie Blackwood, Sam Girard, those are all, like, summer injuries.
Yeah. Different than actually being part of camp.
Cool ambiance.
Yeah, can they hear the pop-offs at whatever high school game is going on right now?
Better be able to hear that. I mean, that's loud.
That's true. It is. I can hear it through the headset. So it's pretty loud. Group 1 today, I'm going to be honest, a lot of Group 1 for me was guys I already knew what to expect out of.
Yeah.
They changed up the lines a little bit. To some extent, we're expecting these to be the combinations that are going to either the DU game or the game at Ball Arena tomorrow.
Yeah.
However, they did say no Nathan McKinnon will play in those. He's fine. He's just not going to play tomorrow.
Yeah. There's a list of guys that won't play.
Yeah. You can go check out our Twitter if you want the full list. But Ross Colton, Yoel Kiviranta, Val Nichushkin, Jack Drury, a bunch of guys at the top, and then the defense had McCarr and Taves, where it's like, all right, we kind of know what they are at this training camp. We know what they are as players. We don't need to too overly analyze some of that. But interestingly, playing with Drury and Nichushkin with this grouping was Gushchin.
Yeah, Daniil Gushchin getting that extra look.
Yep.
He and Nichushkin were kind of vibing today. They were fun.
Yeah.
They seemed like they had a little bit of chemistry, and they were, fist bumps. And Val doesn't really talk to a lot of guys, so, I mean, no surprise. Like
the Russians. Yeah.
Right, like he's talking to another Russian guy. It's fine, right? Like frankly, this is, and I've talked to people around the NHL who have confirmed that this is a thing. When you have one, you want to. Because you want them. Yeah.
That comfortability level.
The culture shock of Russians leaving Russia is a more shocking culture shock. I'm coming up blank on a better word to use, but it's a more severe culture shock than
fish out of water?
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's a harder transition to leave Russia and go to, I guess, the rest of the world. So a lot of teams, when they have a Russian player or two, like they want a couple so that they don't feel like a loner, right?
Well, And you can see that stacking up, and I know we'll talk about him in a bit, but Bardakov on the other side, you were talking to, I forget who we were talking to, but Prishapov speaks Russian as well, so they have a handful of guys, at least for training camp, that are all here.
It does feel intentional, 2 Russians in each group.
Yeah. Somebody to stick with them.
Well, and you definitely needed one that can
Bardakov
translate a little bit. Yeah, exactly. So it is funny, though, that every day we find out a little bit more of the Zakhar Bardakov English-speaking story.
How much is there to it?
Day 1, it was negative. He doesn't speak any English. And then day 2, it was like, well, he seems to pick up some of it. I think we understand things. And then you'll hear Parker Kelly in a little bit talk about it where he's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even Bednar today was like, yeah, it's a lot of pointing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, you figure it out.
Yeah, they're making it work.
Hockey is a universal language, I guess.
Hockey and math.
Math is not a language. I refuse.
Hater.
On math, absolutely.
I mean, I don't like math either, but if it weren't for math, I wouldn't have a job.
You're not wrong, but still.
Shout out math.
Then I tried to do math on air, and it all went down.
Don't do that.
You see the rest of the forwards in Group 1. They had the Barre Boulet with Megna and Brindley on this side of it. A little bit of a different look of the small star line. But
didn't notice much from that line today.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I noticed a ton, too. It does feel like Megna obviously is what he is, but of the new Colorado Eagles guys, I do think you said it the other day, just in every drill, you notice Barre Boulet is a little bit more polished, has a little bit more of that NHL feel to his game. So if we were making decisions today, he would be pretty high on the call-up list for me.
It feels like we talked to Parker Kelly about absolutely everything, and now I'm like, I should have asked him about those types of guys.
Let's just make the interview an hour long.
Yeah, let's get him back in here.
But, yeah, I don't know that there's a ton to report on specifics from a day like this because they didn't spend a ton of time on the ice. They're playing a game tomorrow.
Yeah, Group 1 especially was not on the ice for very long. It was really quick, very snappy. There was very limited 5v5 action.
We did see Sean Behrens get to go on some shifts with Makar or whatever you want to call it in the game-ish style drills they did in the second half.
Yeah, Jared Bednar talked about it afterwards. He's liked what he's seen. We've liked what we've seen. It hasn't been overwhelming. It's not like, oh, man, this guy's busting down the NHL's door right now.
Yep.
It's not like that. But you're also not looking at it going, oh, man, we've been waiting a long time, and this is really not what we were after. Because it was, 3 years in college after he got drafted?
Yep.
And then the lost pro year now of last year. So you're talking, it's been 4 years, and you still haven't gotten any return in the NHL level on this investment yet.
And you're getting down the line, yeah.
Yeah, and so you want to see enough that you're like, all right, we're still believing here. We're still buying in. And it's not that he's old, obviously. It's just that when does it happen?
Right.
And it's not overwhelming at this point, but also you mentioned Barre Boulet. If we had to make decisions right now, we both would say that he was higher up on the forward call-up list.
Yep.
With Behrens, I would probably have him at like 9.
Amott is probably the only one I'd have ahead of him.
Well, because Middleton is at 7 and then Amott is definitely at 8 for me.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm open to the conversation, but I think Behrens, right now, I like what Sean Behrens does as an Av better than some of the other defensive guys. And then I would also have Alex Gagne right there with Sean Behrens as like a who's hurt.
Yeah. What kind of style
role
of player,
do you need that guy to play? And then that's my conversation.
Definitely fair. It will be interesting. I asked Malinsky about this the other day, and I'm curious because we know Bednar loves to blend his pairings. He loves to do all of that.
Yeah.
I do wonder if they're looking for a little bit more consistency or stability next to a Malinsky because he's trying to learn that offside.
Yeah.
And you can give him something repeatable, and he's going to know where his partner is on the right side every time, so he can lean on that a little bit as he figures it out on the left side.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's in a world where Sam Girard can't go for opening night, I think you could make an argument for, okay, we're going to go Taves Burns.
Sure.
And then you could go Malinsky Makar because you know that you're going to kind of be able to insulate Malinsky with, yes, the Kings would put out all their top guys, but so would the Avs.
Yeah.
And so it's not so much like Malinsky's in don't screw it up territory right there. It's almost like training wheels. They're really nice training wheels because you're on the ice with Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon.
Louis Vuitton training
wheels. Exactly. I don't even want it. After what I was looking at on Poshmark the other day, I don't even want to know what Cartier training wheels would go for. $1,500. Man, that $20,000 sunglasses.
Out of my price range.
I was like, there's no way. Anyway, those are some nice training wheels. Yes. But I do wonder, like, that might be a way to insulate a guy like that.
You could find ways to protect him.
I liked him today, though. I thought Sam Malinsky was solid.
Well, and the other side of that is, I agree he's in Group 2. But
yeah.
We talked about a number of guys, Malinsky included, where you look at the preseason and you go, give him a ton of games.
Yeah. Well, I think I said it yesterday that I would give him 5 preseason games just to max it. And that's only because you can't give him 6.
Yep.
Just to give him the absolute max number of opportunities to feel comfortable at game speed on the left side. Of like, if he makes a mistake, you don't care. He's not costing you anything. There's no standings points here. He's not coming out of the lineup. You're not going, okay, well, we're going to sit him now.
Right.
There's a clear delineation between their top 6 and everything else.
Right. It's at least for now.
Right.
We'll see how waivers go and things like that. But
yes. That I feel so confident they're getting a defenseman on waivers. It just feels
they
smart.
They get a waiver claim every year. They get one pretty much every year. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah. And it's almost always like a what? I mean, do you remember Ivan Prosvetov? We were all so confused by that.
Sometimes it's confusing, sometimes it makes sense.
Yeah. The only weird thing about John Ludwig was that they kept him around for almost a month and never played. Like, they played him like 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
And then he was just gone.
And then they just shipped him to the Eagles, and that was that.
It was like he sat, they were waiting for the league to forget about him so that they were like, no, you don't know anybody else that was interested in him. You're not interested in him. And then they demoted him, and it was weird.
Yeah. There were also other defensemen I'd have claimed last year, but we don't need to rehash this. Yeah, we don't need to rehash this again right now. It's fine. But yeah, you look at this group, and I think there are a lot more questions when it comes to the D core than it comes to the forward core.
Yeah,
for me at least.
I think this is one of the few years where I felt comfortable with the forward call-ups because the guys that are in line can do those jobs.
Down to about 15, yeah.
Right, like, and in previous years, it was like, okay, well, if you need a guy in your 4th line, you're calling up Oscar Olausson. He was not fit for that. John McFoody.
That's not his role, yeah.
Who's not, like we saw those guys in those types of roles. They were just not equipped for that job.
Yep.
But this year, we're talking like, okay, well, Ivan, we know he can do that job. He did it last year. Nikita Pristupov, we know that he can do that job. He did it last year. Kevin Brindley, we don't.
Not as much.
More of an unknown, but a guy whose talent has popped. Alex Barré-Boulet has 70 NHL games.
Yep.
So
there's some track record of footage to go off of.
And these are guys that you're talking about if you need them in a bottom 6 role.
Right.
Because if you need them in a top 6 role, then you've really got a problem.
Then you need 4 guys. And
right. And this is where the Ross Colton, Victor Olofsson on your 3rd line is a great luxury for you, where you feel really good about it. As if one of those guys gets hurt in the top, one of the wings, you can do something. If one of your centers gets hurt, you're in trouble.
Yeah, the Avs center depth is interesting, right?
It's bad.
I don't know that it's horrible, but you just don't have guys you trust to play at center in the top 6.
Definitely not. I mean, we're trying to. A lot of this season, in a lot of the first 50 games, is Jack Drury a 3rd-line center?
Right, and
we have that question mark. So yeah, if one of McKinnon or Brock Nelson gets hurt,
you're in trouble. But
you're in trouble.
On the other side of it, it's Bardakov, it's Pristupov, it's Ivan. All of these dudes can play your 4C role, but there are some pretty hard ceilings that you're banging into there.
Yeah, and if Bardakov is a hit, and you get a guy out of him, you might be able to say you have 2 third lines.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the realistic ceiling if things go well? Can Bardakov get into that third line? Can you bring back the super fourth line with Drury in the middle?
I think if Bardakov is good enough, and I also think that we're going to see some regular line shifting where a guy like Olofsson or Colton is going to shift into the top 6. They want a different look. Yeah. Either one of those guys can easily move into your top 6, and you can drop a guy like a Lehkonen or a Nichushkin, and they'll be okay.
Yep.
They can handle the checking role. They're good at that.
Yep.
So you aren't lost.
Sure.
If Bardakov is a hit and you like what he's doing,
you have options.
You could and you could turn to, okay, we want Kelly, we want Drury, and we want LOC together.
Yep.
Because then you're like, okay, well, we just put together a high-end fourth line, like a very effective fourth line that has a ton of chemistry. And as you will hear Parker Kelly talk about, they really like playing together.
Yep.
They feed off each other well. They energize each other. It's a really good combination. And so if Bardakov is that good, you could move him up there, and then you do put a Lehkonen around him as like a safety net.
All of a sudden, that third line looks pretty nasty with Olofsson elevated to a top 6 role.
Your fourth line really becomes, it can handle so many strong defensive matchups that you have 2 third lines.
Yeah.
In terms of minutes usage.
You're playing them 10 minutes a night each at 5-on-5 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Right. And then special teams, whatever. Because Colorado's bottom 6, this is another thing we haven't talked a lot about, but Colorado's bottom 6 this year, right now, if we count a healthy LOC and we say that Zakhar Bardakov is in the lineup, even when LOC comes back.
Feels pretty safe right now.
Like right now, you're like, okay, the guy that coming out would be Kiviranta.
Yeah.
Like, you feel good about that, right? Like, if that guy's your 13th forward, you feel really good about your lineup.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's on Bardakov to keep that job because they could easily just move Parker Kelly to the middle and then have Kiviranta LOC.
Entirely on the table.
Right. But what you do is you have a lot of guys in your bottom 6 that can contribute to multiple special teams units.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been the case as much, and I wonder how much it has taxed an Arturi Lehkonen or a Val Nichushkin to have to play regular PK shifts.
I do want to get into that, but we do need to take our first break of the show here, so let's make sure we're hitting that get yourself into the official vehicle of DNVR with Toyota. If you're coming down to watch Avs practices, you can do that with a Toyota, or, maybe which arena are you going to? DU? Ball Arena? Magnus? Ball Arena? Maybe both, like us. I'm going to both.
Yeah, we're going to both.
So get yourself into Toyota to get you to your next Avs game. They've got trucks, they've got SUVs, they've got sedans, any type of vehicle you need. They come with 17 different models of all-wheel or four-wheel drive, so you can be safe on the roads no matter the weather. And they have the most zero or low-emission vehicles of any automaker out there with 16 different hybrids. They even have hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. So jump with Toyota today. Go to your local Front Range Toyota stores, including AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, not just the official vehicle of us, but the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche too. Let's go places. And once you get your Toyota, you're going to need to get your tickets to the game, and that's where Game Time comes in. I just got tickets to the Magnus game. I'm going to that one as a fan. We're going to be sitting in the crowd for that one.
Yeah, if you see us there, no, you don't.
You can say hi to me. You ignore him. It's fine.
You can say hi to me, too. It's fine. I'm just a grumpy Gil.
But get your tickets through Game Time. It's the best way to get the best prices for tickets. They have tons of different ways for you to get deals, whether that's the last-minute selector, the section selector. You can even use the Game Time Picks feature where you search for the tickets you want, and Game Time will only show you the best tickets for the best prices. They're so confident they guarantee you'll get the best price. If you find tickets cheaper somewhere else, they'll reimburse you 110% of the ticket price into your account. So make sure you're jumping in with Game Time. Doesn't have to be the Avs. Could be the next Broncos game. Nuggets are starting up soon. Or, you can even go to concerts and theaters with Game Time. So get with them. Use the DNVR code when you download the Game Time app today, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Of course, terms apply, but that's $20 off with code DNVR after you download the Game Time app. Tap Ticket Go. Join 15 million people that use Game Time to get their tickets. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast. This is a conversation we'll have actual data to dig into more, but are you excited to see some of the special teams units get used tomorrow?
No, okay. Not tomorrow, just because we know they haven't done any of the installation yet.
Sure.
after Tuesday, yes, because Tuesday is special teams install day.
They'll pick it up in practice.
Yeah, and then we're also expecting that cuts will begin after the split squad game
somewhere between
tomorrow.
Monday and Thursday of next week. There
right,
will be
and
cuts.
so once that starts to happen, I think they'll really be able to. Once they get to one group and they start doing special team stuff, I think then we'll start to really get to see an idea of what they're thinking for both power play and penalty kill. Frankly.
Yeah, it's the penalty kill. I'm less interested in just because it's still Nolan Pratt. It's still the Avs penalty kill. We're not expecting a massive overhaul there.
I do think the penalty kill. I think it's interesting because the power play. It's more like, oh my God, they've got so many guys that they could reasonably use on both units that I want to know how they sift through it. On the penalty kill, it's a little more targeted. Of like, if you're healthy, Cale Makar shouldn't be under penalty kill anymore.
I 100% agree with that.
You brought in Brent Burns, and if Josh Manson's not on your PK, what are we doing here?
Yep.
So, Brent Burns, and one of your big selling points of Brent Burns, great PK player.
Yep.
So those are your two guys on your right side. Devon Taves is a very good PK guy. There's three of your what you usually do as four defensemen.
And even Sam Girard has pretty good penalty kill numbers.
Right, and so it's like, okay, if Girard Burns ends up being a regular pairing, you keep them.
Yep.
And then you do Taves, Manson on your PK, and Cale Makar gets a few minutes extra of rest. It won't bolster his Norris case. I don't care. I doubt he will care.
He's got two. He doesn't. He's done with that.
Great. He's going to win 5 more, and it's not going to be a big conversation about, well, how much did he play on the PK? Because I feel confident that if he takes those extra, you shave off the PK minutes.
Yep. It's the easiest way to get him minutes and still get the maximum out.
Yeah, he'll still get the same overall minutes, but he'll be fresher, and those will come at 5v5. And then, that's how 100-point Cale Makar happens, and we all get to lose our minds like we always do because it's Cale Makar.
I'm ready for that. A question from the chat here from Mary, who says a little pushing and shoving from McKinnon. Did I say Mary?
Yeah,
Marie, my bad. A little pushing and shoving from McKinnon and Drury today.
Yeah. He met the psycho.
Look, I'm not going to say it's been like overtly physical in training camp because they are still teammates. They're not trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
But especially as you ramp up, there's a game tomorrow. Yes, it's a preseason game.
Yeah.
But you see that physicality step in more and more and more. You see that compete level raise up and up and up. And are they anywhere near 100% yet? No, but they're professional athletes. They don't want to go out there and lose.
Yeah. And, I mean, what's the issue?
I have none. Yeah.
And I don't think Marie was saying there was one, and I don't think that the people that were on social media today talking about it were saying there was one. Just Jack Drury's competing.
Yep.
And that's Nathan McKinnon, so I'm not going to give him a couple of whacks, and then Nathan McKinnon's not going to fire back. No, Jack Drury's doing his job, and then Nathan McKinnon's being Nathan McKinnon.
Right. If anything, it's that's Nathan McKinnon. I'm going to give him an extra one.
Yeah. Well, and the dog likes to bark.
Yep. He's not afraid.
Yeah. I'm good with it. People should be giving him an extra whack every single day. He's not above that.
So what's going to happen in real games?
Buddy. Yeah, you live to compete. Well, they're competing.
Yep.
And that makes you a better competitor. Iron sharpens iron in this league.
100%.
And that makes Jack Drury better.
Look,
get after it.
That's the bigger part for me is, look, Jack Drury, whether his role is 3C or 4C, whether it's offensive-minded, defensive-minded, he has the opportunity in practice to not only pick the brain of Nathan McKinnon, but to go directly against him every single day and take something from that and apply that to, frankly, guys that he might have to play against that are lesser than McKinnon.
He is going to, on the road this year, if you're going to be on the 3, you're going to be the 3C, he is going to be the guy that takes on a lot of top assignments.
Yep.
Because they're not, the Avs like best on best. Bednar likes to put McKinnon out there against the McDavids of the world.
You can do that at home.
And when the Avs are in charge of that, that's how they like to live.
Yep.
When the other teams are in charge of it, they're going to say, okay, we're going to go after Jack Drury.
Right.
We're going to go after Zakhar Bardakov. Yep. Those are the lines that they're going to try and go up against. Now, those teams have to pick their poison because they're putting their team in an advantageous position on that shift. But then when they're
that McKinnon just rolls back around.
When it comes back around and McKinnon's out, like unless you're double shifting your top line against that, But anyway, Jack Drury's just doing his job, and he's gonna have to get used to it. He's going against that kind of guy. He's gonna spend a lot of time on the ice against those types of players.
Yep.
Top 6 guys. He's gonna be on the ice with those guys a lot.
Gonna have to make it work. So.
If he's on the fourth line, it won't be quite as much. They will continue to eat greedy against bottom sixes, but if he's playing with Colton and I almost called him Golofsson, Victor Olofsson,
Golton,
yeah, if you're playing, with Golofsson and Golton, yes, then like he's gonna be able to get some of those matchups.
Even in that fourth line, like you talked about earlier in the show, it's not really a fourth line if you're putting Jack Drury on it, right?
Right, you are playing that at 10 to 12 5v5 minutes,
right?
Like that's a lot of usage for that line.
Yeah. So those matchups are going to come to Jack Drury one way or another, and get started early. You come ready to the season.
Good.
Put it to you that way.
Hit him again.
Group 2, I know we already talked about some of the guys a little bit in this group, like Bardakov. You have the top guys of Lehkonen, Nelson, Necas. I don't know that there's a ton to say on those dudes.
I have one thought here.
Okay.
I just don't feel like Brock Nelson and Marty Necas have ever quite clicked.
Sure.
And after yesterday, where both Nelson and Necas were really good on separate lines,
together they were not so good.
And again, these were way different styles of practices because they were way shorter, way less physically demanding than what we've seen because everybody's playing tomorrow. But I know there's a lot of like, you need to split McKinnon and Necas up because they're too redundant, and I understand. But when it hasn't worked very well, because Nelson and Necas last year did not go great. It wasn't bad. It's just when you're hanging around at like 49% expected goals, like somewhere in that range, like you're kind of like,
especially the way the Avs play,
like it's okay. So anyway, I'm drawing too broad of a conclusion off of a less spirited day of practice. For this group, anyway.
It is funny, though, because we talked yesterday about how, Lehkonen's clearly the 6th forward of the group.
Yeah.
And then you come out a day like today, and you're like, today Lehkonen might have been the 3rd best forward.
Well, that's Artturi Lehkonen. This is the first day of camp where I felt Artturi Lehkonen was like, that's our guy.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing about Lecky is he's so reliable.
Yep.
He's so day in, day out.
You know what you're going to get.
Detail-oriented, work ethic is there. You know it's coming with Lecky. That is like you're not worried about the fit. You're not worried about both Nelson and Necas have questions to answer this year.
Yep, I think that's definitely fair of both of them. Nelson a little more security with the contract, but still expectations are going to be there when you sign a deal like that.
Yeah, and Necas about to have a bunch of expectations based on the contract he's going to sign.
He's either going to sign a contract and have expectations, or he's going to be playing for a payday. So either way, there's going to be.
We know he's signing a contract and getting paid at some point this year.
Yeah, one way or another.
Yeah.
Other part of this, and again, I've made this statement every day so far, and I will continue to do so. It's training camp. It's practices.
Yeah.
Do not overanalyze and overthink about this stuff. This stuff is interesting. It's a jumping off point for the season, but how a guy looks in 3 days of practice does not necessarily mean a lot. But they put Victor Olofsson with Bardakov and Kelly today.
Yeah.
And I know some of that is just these are the lines for the preseason games coming up.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about moving Olofsson potentially up the lineup in different ways.
Yeah.
Is there a world where he can function as a 4th-line player, or do you think that is not what he's here to do?
No, I'm not doing that at all.
Okay.
Because if I'm in this like future world we hope to live in where the forward core is all healthy, fast forward to mid-November, LOC is back, you want to be taking Kivy out of your lineup.
I would agree.
And Olofsson has been productive enough, and he's helped you offensively because that's what he's here to do. Is he's here to bring offense. If you wanted a more defensively oriented forward, there were other options.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So I'm not. No, for today it's fine.
I'm
training camp,
again,
whatever.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, exactly. It's whatever. We've told people for a million years, do not read too much into training camp lines.
Yep.
They're just, some of it is they want to see something, and some of it is just they need to do some sort of alignment of players.
We need 5 veteran forwards at both buildings tomorrow.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Like it's No, he can't do that job. You are not going to ask him to check like that. Even him being on the third line, there's a reason that we're talking about. Maybe he moves up and takes like Lekkonen's spot,
right?
And then you have a third line of, Colton.
There's a little less babysitting of Drury and Colton having a lot of the defensive responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Where all of a sudden you put Lekkonen and Drury on the same line, you're pretty good defensively, and then you have enough offensively that it's a healthy mixture.
And that frees up Colton to play the offense,
right? And let it go attack, which he's going to do anyway. Right, that's just who he is. And then you let Olofsson become Golofsson.
Please, I need to see some Golofsson this year.
Yeah, honestly, this is going to be our next shirt.
I feel like there's a number of shirts we could go. After today, I want to make a Parker Kelly shirt now.
Oh, my God. It can just say Parker Kelly.
We will get to that interview in just a sec here, but we do need to pay some more bills, so let's make sure we're doing that with our sunglasses sponsor, Shady Rays. I know AJ's got his in his car right now.
Yep, I wear them every day.
He always keeps them for the drive home, which is smart because staring into the sun is bad for you.
That sun is the Avalanche future.
Here's the coolest part about Shady Rays, AJ.
What's that?
You know that moment when you realize you forgot your sunglasses, or you drove away without them on the roof of your car, or maybe you accidentally put them in your back pocket and you sit on them?
Yes.
All of those don't matter with Shady Rays. You break them, you lose them, you just don't like them. For the first 30 days, Shady Rays will replace them entirely for free. So you don't have to worry about losing or breaking your sunglasses when it comes to Shady Rays. So now you can actually wear your sunglasses and not have to worry about it on wherever you're going for the day. We teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer when you head to shadyrays.com and use code DNVR. You can get 35% off any pair of polarized sunglasses. They have hundreds of different styles of shades, different colors of polarization. They have a fit for everyone. And they've been given 5 stars by over 300,000 people. So try the shades for yourself today. Again, shadyrays.com with code DNVR to get 35% off any pair of polarized sunglasses. And once you got your Shady Rays on, you get to drive home, you get through the sun, you sit on your couch. What do? You choose chill. Go get yourself some ice-cold Coors Light. They're available in pretty much every liquor store in the country. They've got the Blue Mountains on the bottle or the can to let you know. They're ice-cold, they're ready to drink on the couch, but you don't have to go get it. That's kind of the whole part here. CoorsLight.com/DNVR. You can order it right from your couch and get it delivered right to your front door thanks to Instacart. Jump in with them, the easy way to get Coors Light. I live like way out in the sticks, so we order stuff to our front door all the time. It's a lot nicer than having to drive all the way into town. Highly recommend.
Brother, I live in a forest. You're making excuses.
Am I?
Yes.
All right, fine. I'll go to. I mean, to be fair, I have Coors Light at the DNVR bar when I do come into work, too.
That's right, so you do.
Fair enough. Coors is, of course, cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smooth finish. Go get yours today. Again, at CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Get it delivered right to your front door thanks to Instacart. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Please drink responsibly. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. This is a very long interview, but if you are interested in the details of hockey life and development and how fourth-line grinders see the game, genuinely one of the best interviews I've done. I didn't do much. AJ did all the hard work. I sat here. But
Parker Kelly did all the hard work.
You're not wrong. He's an amazing interview. You guys are going to love this thing. Let's roll the Parker Kelly stuff. DNVR Avalanche Podcast here with Parker Kelly. First of all, thank you for joining us, Parker. We appreciate it. Obviously, you get adjusted to the Avs last year, but you end up signing that big extension. Yeah. What made you want to stay in Colorado?
First, thanks for having me. But yeah, I think just, the city's great. Coaching staff was great with me last year. Love the guys here. Everyone's so good. And I really liked, playing with OC and Jack last year. I thought we were great. I've learned a lot from Nate. I've learned a lot from Kale, Taser, all the guys here. Everyone's so talented. So a lot of people have made me better, and I think it was just a great fit for, my wife and I to get some term and be here for the next 5 years. So we were really excited about that.
How crazy is it that a year ago you're not qualified by Ottawa? You're looking for a home. You're looking for a deal, unsure. And then you fast forward 12 months. You have a 4-year deal.
I know, yeah. It's pretty crazy to think. Sorry, excuse me. But just to go from having no home to not being wanted by a team, I think was kind of a little foreign experience for me, I liked my time in Ottawa. I probably would have stayed in Ottawa if they offered me a contract. So I would have taken anything at the time. But, then to go on the market and you kind of hear what's out there, and then Denver rolls around and you're like, holy crap, like what a place that would be to go. And not knowing how it would work out or, what the expectations were. Last year everything just blew the expectations away and we just loved it. And then, to get some term, like you said, I feel like a lot of guys in my position kind of get, stuck on 1 or 2 year deals their whole career. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I would do that in a heartbeat to stay in the NHL. But, to get some term and be able to, look at buying a house here and kind of not have to pack up your life every year and bring it back to your home base in Edmonton is a nice feeling to have. And like I said, my wife and I are just super excited to, be here. We love the city. It's a direct flight from Edmonton. So
perfect. Very easy.
Yeah. Our parents don't have to get, stuck in Toronto on layovers, come to visit us. So it's been a great decision and just so happy to be here and just over the moon.
Yeah. The fit was, I think it's an easy reason to see why you fit so well with their style. But last year you had played 2 distinct roles.
Yeah.
You spent the first portion of the season playing as the center on the fourth line, and then as the year goes on, they acquire 3 centers as the season goes on, and then you end up on the wing. What was that adjustment like?
Yeah, I think I've always played wing my whole life. Like I've never played a lick of center ever. And then, to come into camp last year and, Bedsy pulls me and he's like, hey, like, I think you'd be great at center. And I'm like, okay, like I can do it. You know what I mean? Whatever you need. And that's kind of my mentality. And then, going through training camp and the first few preseason games, you're like, okay. And then, you start playing teams like Tampa, Florida, and you're like, center's a different position. Like it's just was so foreign to me. And that's the other thing. Like Bedsy and the coaches were so great with teaching me, and the guys were great too on the team, teaching me how to, go about being a center. And definitely, I would say, took some adjustment to learn the position. And I think I was very like defensive minded playing center. Just, you're the like kind of motor in the D zone. And, once I moved back to wing, I think it just kind of freed me up because, I can get in on the forecheck. And whereas a center, you're like last guy into the O zone pretty much. Yeah. And, going back to wing was nice. And, definitely freed me up to bring a little bit of intensity, play with the edge again, and, get in on the forecheck. So I definitely feel comfortable as the season went on, like playing center last year, majority of the year. And then obviously we get the trades and, those guys are a lot better at center than me. So I was happy to move back to the wing. But, it's a feather in your cap to be able to play the position. And I think it was great for me to learn. And, I loved playing it.
Go ahead.
There's a mythical clip of you out there from last year blocking 5 shots on one shift, only to still get scored on.
Yeah, that was tough.
I was just curious where you find the heart to battle through that many block shots.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like the way like I grew up like in our small town playing hockey, everything was just like so gritty. Like the big city teams hated playing us because we hit harder. We learned all that stuff from such a young age, just being from a small town. That was like our core identity, just being scrappy, gritty players. And I think my dad ingrained that in me, but both my parents, I'd say, they're hard workers, and they ingrained that in my brother and myself. And like the biggest rule we had in the house was, unless you got broken bones or you're unconscious or you're severely bleeding, you always get up, continue your shift, and then deal with it later. So that's the rule we live by. And I didn't break any bones out there, so it was just keep them coming. I guess you got to go back out, and that's part of the job description. So I have no problem getting paid to block shots. I'll do that all day. So
it was a very Scott Sterling-esque kind of
so
sequence.
Scott Sterling.
It was. Yeah, it was.
That was good memes come out from that.
It was a fun night of like.
Yeah.
The end result sucked, but like.
I know.
What a fun.
It was like. In the moment, like you're so like you're on adrenaline. Like the first one was the worst by far. Like off the inside of the knee, right off the draw. Like if I win the draw, not being a centerman though, like I lose the draw, you got to block a shot. If you just win the draw, you probably get the puck out, and you know what I mean. You're not doing that, and to go through the first one like on the outside of the knee, like on the quad, the leg's gone, like, and then to block one off, the hand, so you can't really hold your stick, and then all for it to end up in the back of your net was just like. you felt good about yourself, you know. You felt like you did your job.
Shit for you, for
had
sure.
At all, a little bit, but there's like a rage that kind of, I didn't like that I slammed my stick, but I think I was just in some pain, and that was more the issue than getting scored on. But at least it wasn't like we were down by 1 and that tied it up. You know, we still ended up winning the game, so that all made it feel worth it in the end for sure.
Cold tub was a nice experience after.
Yeah, that was. I think there's a picture of me somewhere, but I got my like leg hog-tied behind me, ice pack on my leg, hand, calf, both my feet, and there's some video out there that's I'm like on the training table just wrapped up like a mummy with ice bags, but yeah, it was pretty funny.
The way that they do the hat tricks where they with the pucks, they should have put a puck on each spot of your body where you blocked a shot.
Absolutely,
you should have gotten that photo.
I know, I would have taken that for sure.
So with the I'm curious, you're talking about the transition center to wing and what that was like for you. What was the communication process like with Bedsy last year? Okay, hey, we wanna transition you to this. What were those conversations like?
Yeah, he was great about it. Right from the start, just pulled me in and was like, "This is kind of an area in our lineup that I think we have a hole in, and the guy I'm kind of looking at to fill it is you." And I was like, "Okay, I've never played center, and I was like, I'm gonna need to learn." So like right after the first preseason game, I'm in the room watching clips with him, and then you kind of learn as you go, I would say too. But Bedsy and Ray did a really good job. I watched a lot of video. Obviously watching the other players on our team play the position as well, and I feel like OC is like been here long enough that he knows what every position should do, and he was great for me too, just to kind of bounce off ideas of what I thought of this play, and he would say like, yeah, maybe you could have been there, but try this next time. So he was great about it, and everyone was just so good at teaching me, but definitely the best way to learn it was just like getting out there and knowing that, hey, like this is a new experience. I kept getting put back out on the ice to like go. There was some growing pains for sure, but that was the best part, was just keep going back out there and learn on the fly. So then you can kind of make reads and feel more comfortable playing the position. So that was kind of the best part. And
you said that you had to be very defensively minded and oriented to play that position. Is that hey, you're not super established in the NHL, you're only here on a 2-year deal, you're trying to, it's very like, I'm not here to make the big mistake kind of feeling?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it like making the big mistake, but like, I mean, part of like, just to be honest, like part of a fourth line player is you don't really want to get scored on a lot. You got to chip in offensively somewhat, and you got to be a good teammate and all that stuff in the room. But I felt like playing center, I was like, so, because you're kind of the engine of the D zone for your line, I would say. Like, you're doing a lot below the goal line. And I was so focused on, making sure our line wasn't getting scored on, or like leaving a guy open or turning the puck over that way, where I was kind of so far behind the play, like working so hard in the D zone. By the time I got to the O zone, I was like dead. Like, I was like, I can't. And like, obviously too, face-offs, that's a huge thing as a center. As a fourth line guy, you're stepping out to more defensive zone faceoffs, and if you're losing that draw, like you're kind of chasing the puck around for 30, 35 seconds depending on how the shift goes. Yeah. Whereas if you win it, you get a clean breakout, you can go play in the O zone. So I think it was taking away from my offensive game a little bit, which wasn't allowing me and our line to like be that catalyst and chip in offensively to, if Nate or the second line didn't have it, like sometimes your fourth line needs to score for you to win the game, And I feel like I wasn't doing that. That was kind of a burden I was putting on myself. But I also think I put a lot of pressure on myself. And I think if I played center this year, it would probably be a different version of me playing the game. That being said, like when you talk to Ross about playing center, like he kind of bounces back and forth too. He says he's more offensive-minded playing center, I'm pretty sure, because you can kind of like, if you're timing it right and your winger, wins a battle on the wall, you can be on a 2-on-1 and get good looks offensively as well. But I think for me, I was so worried about just digging it in the corners, being a good breakout option for the D. I wasn't, worried about slashing and like being a good F1. Like I was just always arriving in as F3, and that was kind of a learning process for me. But
the Avs pick up Jack Drury in the middle of last season. He kind of slides into that center spot. You moved to wing, and you mentioned O'Connor a couple of times. You guys kind of turned into one of the best fourth lines in the league as a trio. Yeah. Just how did that work? How did you guys click together once it all came in?
Yeah, I think me, OC, Jack, you can probably even throw Kivy in there too, I think are very like-minded players, I would say. We all know our role and what we need to bring to the team and what we need to do for the team. And Jack coming in, like, played center. I played against him in Ottawa. Like, he's great in the circle. Like, that's huge, number one, is to, like, have a guy that can, you know, more than not win you a face-off to help you.
Better to have the puck than
exactly,
not.
Yeah, to not chase the puck around. And Jack's also, he's very talkative on the ice, and I think Os and I, you know, being wingermen, we know our role and job pretty well. And when your centerman's in the right spot, like Jack is, it makes our job easier and makes us look better. And if Os is slashing from me, like Os can, you know, carry us out of the D zone and go in and start the forecheck to help me and Jack out too, you know, vice versa. So I think it was all just coming together. And then as we played together more, we got to know where everyone was going to be, especially in the offensive zone. Like, that's so nice when you know where, you know, you got a guy supporting you low. You got Jack, F3, always talking to you. And, yeah, we just crash and bang. And I think that was a really good line for us last year. And I think all three of us would love to, you know, get back to where we left off last year.
Just going off of this conversation about transition center to wing, right now you've been playing on wing next to Zakhar Bardakov, who's just coming over.
Yeah.
Doesn't speak much English yet.
No.
How's that communication been going with him, and what kind of resource can you be for him in that you just went through this last year?
Yeah.
And now he's trying to take that job.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like, it's tough with him not speaking a whole bunch of English because, like, I'm trying to tell him, you know, spots to be, and he's actually been really good at, like, learning it, and he understands. I feel like he might not be able to communicate back to me, but on the ice he's shown me that he understands, like, where he needs to be and kind of what needs to happen. But yeah, I've been really impressed with him so far, and I feel like I can maybe try to do a better job of, like, simplifying my words to him to make it maybe make more sense to him. Like, we were doing a drill today, and I told him, like, when the whistle blows, like, we have to go tag up around the cone, you know, and maybe that one went over the head because the first whistle goes, and I'm like, like, I feel bad, you know what I mean? Because I want to be that guy for him that, you know, guys were for me last year. So I think I'll take it upon myself to, you know, try to help him out as much as possible. And hopefully if he has any questions, I've told him, just come to me. Like, I feel like I know the systems pretty well now. I've played your position now. Like, I can be a sounding board for you. And if we need to get the board out, like, for the best way to communicate, like, just to show, we'll start doing that too. So, but yeah, he's been really good, eager to learn, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Bedsy was funny in his presser today. He talked about it where, he didn't quite know what to do, but then as soon as you know, like that, and then off he goes. You know, he's just, it seems like he's very eager to take that job just run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, he's a funny kid too, you know what I mean? Like, when you talk to him, when he doesn't have the hockey going on, and you know, you try to make small talk with him and get to know him a little bit. But yeah, he definitely is eager, and, like, he wants to do the right things. Like, that's the other thing too, is, like, I'm telling him, like, hey, like, our line, like, defensive first, and then we'll take care. Like, you're a skilled enough player, like, you're going to be fine once we get into the O-zone. We'll be able to figure it out, you know? But as long as we can get out of our zone clean, be sound, be in the right spots, like, the rest will take care of itself. So that's been what I'm kind of trying to push on to him, and he's done a really good job so far.
Seems like he brings a bit of power as well to that line where you guys like to crash and bang. He really is going to be able to bring that element.
He's, like, really fast, Like, skating, like, explosive, like, just, like, heavy too. Like, I feel like work ethic wise, he's right up there. So a lot of good qualities out of him, and be excited to get in a game with him tomorrow and see how that goes. But as long as you talk with your line mates, that takes a lot of the confusion out of it. So that's kind of what I pride myself on, just over talking, even if it's not there, just say something. You know? But he'll be good. He'll be fine.
You mentioned your upbringing, the small town gritty hockey. You go undrafted as far as your NHL path. Yep. You play 4 years in the dub. You find a way to carve out an NHL role for yourself. I guess, when did you realize, you know, growing up, everyone's Sidney Crosby in their own backyard, right? Yeah. When did you figure out your path might be a little bit different to the NHL than a superstar?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting story. Like, definitely not the stereotypical, you know, you lit up your hometown and then you go off to junior, light it up, and you're a second-round draft pick and you're in the NHL. But
so easy.
Yeah, exactly. But mine, I was a good player like growing up, and like I said, from a small town, we pride ourselves on playing hard. And but for me, it was kind of when I got to my second year Bantam. That was when I finally took my first like offensive steps. I really lit up the league and got drafted to the Western League to PA, and then I go to PA, and I had actually Josh's dad, Dave Manson, was my assistant coach there, and Mark Habscheid was our head. And I owe a lot to both of those guys. There was a point in time, I had a really good 16-year-old year, did well, put up some good numbers. And then I was like 17, and it wasn't going well. Like I was trying to be someone I wasn't, and, playing east-west and trying to make plays, and I was just turning it over. And, I always still had the scrappy grittiness kind of playing me, but Mark had called me in one day, and he's like, hey, like, this ain't working. Like, this is how you're going to – if you just listen to this and take it in, like, this is how you're going to play. And if you buy into it, this is what's going to get you to the NHL. I said, okay, well, my way's not working. I'll listen to your way. And he just said, you're going to be a straight-line guy. I'm going to put you on the top line. You're going to dump the puck in. You're going to go hit the guy. You're going to get the puck to the other two guys, and you're just going to go to the net. You're going to carry the lunch pail, and you're not going to say anything about it. And I was like, okay, deal. And then that's when my game just really started to take off. And then he played that fourth line role in the NHL. So, then we started introducing, being a little bit of a rat and like being able to get under guys' skin, which I kind of already had naturally, but hearing tips from, a guy like Dave Manson or Mark Habscheid to, bring that element. And they're like, you don't have to fight, but if you're in someone's face like all the time and they're, getting annoyed by you, you're definitely doing your job right. And then we went on to win in my 19-year-old year. We won the Western League, and then I go to pro, and that's when I really felt my game translated so well from junior, like learning that for 3 years, how to play the right way, to getting to Belleville where guys are like struggling because they've, been power play one. Outskill everyone. Yeah. And then they got to change their role and whole identity to try to crack a fourth line job in the NHL, where I was built to play a third line game right from 17 years old by my coach in junior. And that's where I kind of felt maybe I had a step over guys. I was already willing to do the hard stuff, and I didn't have to change my role. I was already still honing it in the American League. And then, a few lucky things happen, and I definitely think the stars need to align for someone to make the NHL. You need some luck. And, I cracked the lineup and made Ottawa the next year and have been back in the American League. So, it's been a crazy ride, but very blessed and lucky to be where I am. But definitely those, my coaches in junior definitely – that was kind of the biggest point, was what they told me there and how I needed to play to get to the NHL, and just bought in and it worked out.
That development path is something that we talk about on our show a lot, because Colorado hasn't been very good drafting a guy, an 18-year-old kid. Then he's in junior for 2 years, and then he's in the NHL or the AHL for 2 years. Yeah. And then he's in the NHL, and he just stays. They've been pretty bad at it for about a decade.
Really? Eh?
And I haven't. And it's not been good, man.
Okay.
And
so with the Makars, but
right, like they were great drafting in the top 10. Yeah. They were really good at that. But it's the lower picks, and it's finding the guys like a Logan O'Connor, the undrafted, Sam Malinsky's. They've been able to find those guys. You're undrafted and you're playing a depth role in Ottawa. You don't get a qualifying offer, and then you finish out the contract you just signed. You will have been in Denver for 6 years.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing to hear from a player that's gone through that path of like, it's hard. Yeah, it is hard. But the big key when we talk about it is guys that go from being the stars of whatever junior team they were on. Oh, this guy put up 95 points in his last junior season, but he gets into pro hockey and he can't do it. So what do you think, do you think, I guess I would ask, what kind of resource do you think you could be for some of these guys that do come into camp and they aren't drafted, and they, or a guy like a Pristupov or Ivan, late round pick, undrafted 20-year-old kids? This is their path. This is the footsteps that you have taken to get to the NHL are the ones that they need to follow.
Yeah. I think for me, like, when I was getting to the minors, like, I was getting scratched 3-4 in a row. They would come to me and be like, hey, we're playing you tonight. And then they'd be like, oh, sorry, we're not playing you because Ottawa wants to see this other guy play. And I'd be like, okay. And, like, I would never complain. I would just go work hard in the gym and just always stay ready. But it's so hard to stay ready sometimes, especially when you're 20. And I'm like, man, I could be back in junior with my boys, like living it up in Prince Albert, you know what I mean, where it's minus 40. But
yeah,
that wasn't what was best for me. I needed to learn to like be a good teammate and like be patient with the process. Like I played maybe 12 games before Christmas, and then we had an injury and I jumped into the fourth line and didn't get taken out of the lineup again. Like it's all, you just need to like wait for your opportunity. And those guys that like did light up junior and they like lit up, you know, maybe they're expecting to be on the power play in the minors, but they're not. They're jumped into a penalty killing role or a fourth line role where you're only maybe playing 5 to 7 minutes a night. I think you just need to be grateful for any ice time you're getting, because there's people out there that would love to be getting scratched in the American League rather than the position that they are, you know. And I think not being in a rush to like, oh, why aren't they calling me up? You know what I mean? Like, and I'll be honest, like I had played a whole year in the minors. COVID happened. Then I came back, played that whole year again, and it was the last game of the year. I remember I called my girlfriend, but she's my wife now. I was like, I can't believe they haven't called me up yet. Like, what's going on? Like, and I'm like, I told myself I wouldn't do this, you know? But I was so frustrated because I thought I was playing well. And I think players need to know that when you're in the minors and you think you should be getting called up, like they know when you're ready to get called up. Like they know if you're playing well, you know? And then sure enough, after I hung up the phone, Ottawa calls and they're like, hey, like we need a guy to go watch the game, because it was COVID, no fans, but so you had to have like extra players in the stands, and like, we're like calling you up to the, what was it called? Like
Taxi Squad.
Taxi Squad.
Yeah.
You need to go watch the game. And I'm like, unbelievable. I'm so excited to go watch this game. And I went there, watched the game, and there was like 3 games left in the year. And I'm just like sitting in the room after the team meeting or whatever, and they're like, hey, like it's a skills day tomorrow. Like, do you want to just come shoot on the goalies? And I was like, absolutely, I'm in. Like, what time? And they're like, yep, okay, be there. And then they're like, hey, do you want to come on the road with us? We got to go play a game in Calgary, and then we're back for the last game at home in Ottawa. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. Get to go on the plane, like dreams made, you know what I mean? And
you made it. You were on the plane.
So after the game in Calgary, I get a call like midnight from DJ Smith, and he's like, hey, I just want to let you know, like when we get back to Ottawa, like to play the game, like you're going to be in the lineup. And I was like, no way. He's like, call your family. Like, and I just remember like crying like to my dad and being like, if I played one game, like I just remember telling Kiera, like my wife, being like, I just want one game and I can die a happy man. Like just one game. That's all I need, you know? And the rest is just bonus if I get more. And I think the biggest thing for me was just being patient, like doing the hard stuff in the minors when like no one's watching, and like just knowing that your opportunity will come and you do need some luck. But once you start getting into that negative headspace where it's like, oh, like maybe I should ask for a trade, like I should be playing in the NHL, I think that's when guys start to go the wrong direction. So I think just being patient and knowing that there's a plan for you, and as long as you're sticking to that plan that they have designed for you, there shouldn't be, you know, a problem with your timeline on how to get to the NHL. But I feel like so many guys just struggle going from being the PP guy to only playing 5-6 minutes a night. Like, it's whatever, just do it for a little bit and see if you like it, and then maybe a trade is what's best for you, you know what I mean? So there's so many ways you can look at it, but I'm such a believer in just being a good teammate, always being positive. Like, we're so lucky to be doing what we do. Who cares if you're playing a minute a night or getting healthy scratch? And I know you have expectations for yourself and it becomes a job, but I really think if you look at it like you're so lucky to be where you are, then every day's fun. You just get to put a smile on your face and bring it.
And then in about 9 months, you get to go win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, exactly. You take it one day at a time, and maybe, like that's the next dream. You know what I mean? To have your name on the Stanley Cup and win it with these guys, like your brothers that you go to war with every night, like unbelievable. So there's no other job or like anything that can like make you want to do things for your teammates and you know, your coworkers. You know, there's no better feeling. I'm sure, like, I don't know, everyone talks about like the high of winning. Like, none of us have done drugs, but like the high of winning is like so addicting, you know? And like you want to experience that with the guys that you go to war with every night, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my take on it.
I see why you and Biggie get along for sure.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, it's just like the high of winning. I don't know. That's what I've always been told. Like, there's no better high than the high of winning, you know? And I've got to experience it in junior. I know that's not the Stanley Cup, but
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. Like you want to do that every single year.
How many guys have played in junior that still don't win?
Yeah, like junior might even be hard because you only get 4 years.
Yeah,
that's
true.
the argument. You know what I mean? I don't know if some guys will agree with that, but you get 4 to 5 years at junior to win a championship with your team. I know we got swept in Memorial Cup and whatever, but winning that Game 7 overtime in PA was like, what better feeling do you have than that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's insane. But
you got married this summer, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was amazing. It poured all day. So yeah, just a classic gritty fourth line wedding, you know, dealing with the punches, rolling with the punches. We made the most. Our wedding planner was unbelievable. She was out there getting soaked, moving everything inside the tent, and yeah, we had about 160 people there, and yeah, it was. At the end of the day, it was totally worth it. I think the rain made the vibe better, like having rain rolling down the tent.
Yeah,
like, unbelievable. And with our theme, it was awesome, and I feel like the way it worked out, no one wanted to go outside because of the rain. Like it was raining so hard. Everyone just packed in, and it was good mingling. The dance floor was unreal. Like no one could leave, so it's like get on the dance floor, you know. So it was amazing.
Let's go.
Yeah,
this seems like a popular thing to do this summer. Everybody got married.
I know, it was crazy. Yeah, we had so many weddings to go to, including ours. We were just so weddinged out. It was honestly kind of nice just to get to Denver, try to get the house set up best as you can, and just that first weekend we were here, just chill. Yeah. No weddings, nothing, just.
So relax. After you got the deal done, you guys laying down roots, setting up shop in here?
Yeah, we, once we got the deal done, it was definitely a talk of okay, we don't just want to rent, you know what I mean? Let's look at buying a place. And yeah, we found a place we really liked. And yeah, it's nice to be able to, we've had to pack up our life from Assured Park, where our house is, our home base, and then bring it to Denver, unpack. At the end of the year, pack up Denver, bring it back to Assured Park. Yeah. So to be able just to leave my suits, for example, not have to pack all my suits into a bin and just leave them hung up is something that I feel so happy about, to be honest. But I know it's a little thing. But
it's the little things,
yeah. And just to be able to, if we start a family in the future, then that's great, and this would be a great place to raise kids. But yeah, we'll decide that at a later time. But we just love the city so much, and to be able to have a house here, call it your home and your second home, is pretty special.
I'm set.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you again for coming on, Parker. We do appreciate it. Yeah, that was Parker Kelly. We will be back in a minute with the next period of the podcast. Ridiculously good interview. Shout out Parker Kelly. That was awesome. We are winding down here. Before we get out of here, a couple of things, though. Tomorrow, 2 Avs games. We're going to watch both of them, and then we'll have a post-game after. So it's going to be pretty late in the evening for our post-game tomorrow, but tune into that.
Our first ever post-game show?
Post-games show.
Yeah.
Should be fun. We can really dig into some thoughts of what the Avs look like against an opponent. Looking forward to that. And then the other thing before we get out of here, make sure you're supporting Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America.
Yes.
We're doing a fundraiser right now. You can see on the sidebar if you're watching on YouTube that you can donate to them. There's a link down in the description as well if you want to donate that way, or if you want to become a big. They're an awesome organization. Go help support the kids. Really do. Go check them out. If you're thinking about giving us a super chat or something, give it to Big Brothers, Big Sisters instead. So go do that. That's going to be it for today. We will be back tomorrow evening. We appreciate y'all. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, and we will see you.
We all silly like the mayor.